You're not just tired, anxious, or restless. You might be magnesium deficient, and your body has been whispering for help all along. Let's begin with something quiet, something overlooked. Not a headline, not a dramatic disease, but a quiet element: magnesium, a mineral your body softly asks for, especially when the world feels too loud, especially when your muscles ache and your sleep deserts you, when your mind races and your breath shortens, when you're doing everything right but something still feels wrong. Magnesium doesn't shout. It doesn't surge like caffeine or knock you out like a pill. It's gentle. It soothes. It returns you to yourself, slowly. And yet, it's missing from most of our lives. In silence, it disappears from our soils, our diets, and our daily routines. And so we begin to run on empty without knowing why. We often blame our tiredness on the usual suspects: work stress, long nights, the demands of life. But underneath it all, something biological is fraying. You snap more easily. Your eyelids twitch. Your muscles cramp. Your heart flutters when it shouldn't. Sleep becomes harder to catch. Thoughts harder to tame. Magnesium sits at the heart of over 300 cellular processes. It helps regulate nerves. It calms muscles. It supports the rhythm of your heart. It plays a role in DNA repair, in energy production, in blood sugar balance. It is the soft infrastructure of your calm. And yet, nearly 50% of people in developed countries are deficient. Why? Because magnesium lives in foods we no longer eat enough of: dark, leafy greens, seeds, nuts, whole grains, seaweed. Because it leaches out of our soil with modern farming. Because we trade real meals for processed ones. Because we drink too much soda. Because we overuse anticides. Because we are stressed. And stress burns through magnesium like a fire burns through wood. Stress isn't just an emotion, it's a biochemical event. When you're stressed, your adrenal glands demand more magnesium. Your body uses it to buffer the flood of stress hormones, cortisol, and adrenaline. But what happens when your body runs out? It's like sending a soldier into battle without armor. You become more reactive. Your body tenses more easily. You start to feel like you're always bracing for something even when nothing's there. Sleep gets lighter. Dreams get stranger. You wake up unrefreshed, and it becomes a cycle. Low magnesium leads to poor sleep. Poor sleep leads to more stress. More stress depletes more magnesium. And so, quietly, you begin to unravel. But here's the good news. This is not irreversible. The body is always willing to repair. We give it what it needs. You don't need a miracle. You need to return to magnesium. You need to return to foods that nourish slowly and consistently. Think spinach and kale sautéed in olive oil. Think pumpkin seeds in your yogurt. Think almonds and dark chocolate. Think mineral-rich spring water. Think seaweed, soups, avocado slices, black beans with cumin. Think natural, whole, and deep green. You can also supplement, but mindfully. Not all magnesium is the same. Magnesium oxide, cheap, poorly absorbed. Magnesium citrate, good for digestion. Magnesium glycinate, gentle, calming, great for sleep. Magnesium threonate, may even help the brain. Magnesium sulfate, a warm Epsom salt bath, is more than luxury. It's therapy for your nervous system. But remember, this isn't about adding just a pill. It's about adding moments of restoration. saying yes to slower meals, saying no to one more coffee, choosing real food, breathing deeper, giving your body what it quietly asks for before it screams. Let's pause here and consider something even deeper. What if your racing thoughts, your restless legs, your inability to relax are not a personality flaw, not a weakness, not a lack of willpower? What if your body is simply nutrient starved? What if your nervous system is trying its best in half a tank? You wouldn't drive your car without oil. You wouldn't skip sleep for days and expect to think clearly. But we often do the equivalent with our bodies. We forget the basics. We look for complex answers when the root is simple: nourishment. Sometimes healing begins with the most overlooked things, not a grand overhaul, but a shift back to something elemental. You, supported by the mineral world, let your healing begin with something calm, with something that speaks to your heart, your muscles, your bones, with something ancient. Magnesium was in the oceans before we were born. It pulsed in plants before we named stress. It's in every cell that longs for balance. You are not broken. You might just be depleted. And healing doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers, like magnesium quietly doing the work of restoration from the inside out. This is your invitation to listen, to feed the body what it's been longing for, to notice how you feel after a bowl of quinoa and spinach, to slow down in a warm bath, to replace a soda with mineral water, to notice what softens in you when you restore what's missing. Let this be the beginning of something gentle, a return to equilibrium, a soft unfolding, where your sleep deepens, where your muscles stop clenching, where your breath slows, and your mind, once loud and scattered, finds stillness, all from one quiet mineral, one small shift, and a choice to listen.